Welcome to another episode of Talking Tech. It's a series where we talk about smartphones, gadgets, apps, and a lot of other things related to technology. And today we are going to talk about a very interesting brand, which I think has come a long way in the last few years, especially in the Indian market, but is still quite young. I'm talking about Infinix, and to talk about it, I have with me the CEO of Infinix, Anish Kapoor, sir. How are you doing, sir?
Very well, Manas. Thank you so much for having me today. It's very interesting and exciting to chat with you. I think a long time, but yes.
And these are exciting times for you, sir. You have just launched another smart TV in India. It's a 40-inch smart TV. Tell us about that. Tell us about this new product first.
I think TV is a new category which we have just started. I think 7-8 months back, but I
Yeah.
think response has been phenomenal. We the kind of love we have got on smartphones, I think that is getting extended to TVs as well. So I think with 40-inch, we just wanted to increase the range. We had a 32-inch earlier and a 43-inch, which we had launched earlier.
Yeah.
Now, with 40-inch, we are just trying to bridge the gap. And this 40-inch actually is made for India only because this is not being launched anywhere in the group.
Okay. That's interesting.
So because the kind of segments in India which we have, I think 40-inch also plays a very interesting. And so we thought let's bring something exciting for consumers.
So I think you entered, as you rightly mentioned, you entered the smart TV category last year itself. And I think a lot of it would have been inspired by the fact that now we're in the middle of a pandemic and a lot of people are consuming content in their homes on bigger screens. And you said that the
Sure.
response has been good. So what are the numbers that we are looking at? How's been the uh,
I think so, Manas. I think numbers too early to talk about numbers, but I think it's meeting our expectations right now. So we were actually ran out of stock in some time 1 or 2 months back, and we are just trying to put together with the current supply chain challenges which industry is facing.
yeah.
So it's a tough game for everyone, but yes, we are trying to make sure we are able to have enough of the stocks to meet the requirements of the consumers.
Okay. And when
So,
we talk,
but I think the important part which I want to talk about, I think this industry is very exciting because TV is something which is people have started to lap up all the mobile phone brands which have been doing exciting stuff in the
yeah.
mobile market, and now TV has actually become a more of an extension of one's own thing because earlier what used to happen, the whole family used to watch TV together. I think it has changed
Now
dramatically, and
everyone
I
wants the
think
personal screen.
everybody wants a personalized screen and the kind of exciting prices and what we are bringing to the table. I think people are able to choose what they want and probably use it as and probably as what they want to do.
Yeah. Now, when we talk about this 40-inch TV which you are introducing, which you have introduced, now it's been priced very aggressively. It's priced at rupees 20,000 for the Indian market, and I mean it's of course India specific as you mentioned.
Let me clarify. This is purely a launch offer first thing.
Acha,
It's
okay.
not something which is a standard thing because the kind of pricing which we are seeing right now, it's really not possible to have that kind of pricing anymore.
So you're saying
But
that the
yes,
price, this is just the initial offer, and the price might go up, and we have seen that across categories that the prices have been going up. Fair enough. But what I was coming to was that now this is a different screen size, but in terms of feature, has anything changed from the TVs that you had launched previously? What are the new things that we're looking at?
so Manas, I think we've really it's more of an extension of what we brought to the table earlier. So you will see a great looking TV, probably I think one of the few TVs which are really bezel-less. I'm really talking about close to 93% screen to body ratio. We have some great speakers because voices or sound is very important when you watch any kind of content. So we have 24-watt speakers in this, and something which we started with was the safest viewing experience. I think that we continue the same journey, and I think there's a lot of work which is being done at our end internally to make sure there's a the right kind of things are done at both hardware and software level to bring that experience. Because normally what happens is once you go into safe viewing experience, generally the blue rays which are emitted
Yeah.
when you they are totally taken off. But in our case, we are trying to make sure only the bad ones are taken out, and I think the overall experience is much more nicer to the eyes. And in these kind of times where most of the things are being done on screen, I think this is the least we can do.
And sir, should we expect more smart TVs from you this year? Maybe a different series or different sizes?
See, that's going to be a continuous process. So once we have started a category, we'll keep innovating as on the go. Yes, we have been toying with the idea of launching a 55 inch as well, but still not brought live in the market as of now. But I think that's something which we are working upon. But what we are also looking at is how do we refresh the series and make it much more exciting by before the year ends. So I think that's something which you can look forward to, maybe a refresh of the current series, and maybe we are looking at seeing if we can launch at 55 inches.
55 inches, what you're targeting maybe this year sometime.
Yeah,
Well,
if we can try this.
discussing, still in the discussion stage. So talking about the categories now, smartphone business has always been your core category. That's where your major business happens. And the festive season will be there soon. We're only a couple of months away from that. So what should we expect from Infinix in terms of smartphones in this year? And I'm hearing there are few launches happening, sir.
I love this. I think this is one of the favorite things which we do. As you rightly said, that's a core category, and I think this year has been very, very exciting for us. Uh, Something which we wanted to do because we have been playing in a budget category for long, and we wanted to really bring Note series to the life. And I think that's what we have been able to do. So we launched the Note series
Yeah.
essentially at a different price point from 11,000 to 16, 17,000. And I think the kind of response which we have got has really got us very excited. Yes, this is where we belong, and probably there's much more we can do in this category to really differentiate and bring much more exciting thing for the consumers. So I think mobile phone is going to be really, really something which we will keep innovating a lot. Not that we don't do in other categories, but I think mobile being the core business, that's where most of the time goes. So we'll see some exciting products. We've already launched multiple products in the last 2 3 months. But having said that, I think another second half of the year we'll see another 6 to 7 products getting launched.
6 to 7 new smartphones is what you're going to get from Infinix in the second half itself. Okay, that's a huge
Yeah.
number, by the way. And in terms of price categories, are we looking at a premium, mid-premium, or a flagship sort of product from you? I mean, uh,
See, I think the whole story of what we do is how do we bring premium features to the price point which are much more affordable. So I think we continue with that journey. So most of the things which we do, probably you will see some exciting products below 20K only.
acha.
But probably the value proposition would be much more. But yes, you will see a lot of products coming out from our stable below 20K.
And in terms of innovations, what are we looking at? Is there any particular feature or a lineup that which you could introduce? Something
So
that
I think normally you will see. So it's like it's a great value proposition. So probably something which you normally don't use in certain price points. So that's what we do. The first in segment is something which we really take pride in, and I think that's what we will continue to do. So probably those kind of innovations will keep happening in all the categories. So when I say that, it'll be starting from Smart to Hot series to Note series, and probably Zero series, a new phone which we are planning and looking at launching in India as well.
zero
So I
series?
think those are the things. Yeah. And apart from that, I think the whole story on 5G, which has been talked about a lot, we are also looking at launching 1 or 2 devices on 5G right now. So I think that will also be something which you can look forward.
And that was going to be my next question, is it? Because I mean, there's a lot of talk around 5G, and now you have mentioned that you're planning to launch 1 or 2 5G phones. But what is the overall strategy when it comes to Infinix and 5G smartphones?
See, Manas, I think the challenge is probably there's a lot of talk about 5G, but what is the real 5G? Actually, nobody is experiencing 5G. Right now, we are saying, okay, we are buying a 5G product. Even the bands are not decided, by the way.
Yeah.
So, option has still not happened. So, I think what we are saying, we don't really want to bring something which is half cooked for the consumer.
Okay.
And we are just still waiting and taking our time and see how the market evolves. And when we actually can see a 5G technology being rolled out in India. So I think that's one of the reasons we have been not really aggressively pursuing this 5G roll handsets right now. But I think the ecosystem play and the whole changes which are happening, I think we'll also get into it by end of this year. But I am hoping by that time we'll have much more clarity on how the whole the band process or what is the kind of bands on which 5G will work in India. So I think those are the things which are still to be sorted out.
So there are three things that you have confirmed for our viewers exclusively here. First is that you're planning to launch 6 to 7 smartphones in the second half of
Smartphones, yeah.
2021. You are also looking at one or two 5G smartphones during this period. Also, you are planning to introduce the Zero series smartphone. And this is
Yeah.
just for the smartphone, as well as you're still in discussions for a 55-inch smart TV,
Yeah.
right?
So that's something which we are evaluating and trying to see if we can do something on that
Yeah, yeah,
side
definitely,
as well.
definitely. Now, sir, apart from smartphones, what I've seen is that you have also expanded to other categories very aggressively in the last year or so. You have launched your TWS. You have been launching TWS for a while now. You launched your soundbar as well, and now we have been hearing that you're also planning to bring a laptop, which was launched globally. That is the InBook uh, X1, and I also saw you speak about it during an interview. So, what are the plans about that?
See, I think I spoke, I think in one of the my discussions, and globally we have launched it. So I
Yeah,
think it's something which we saw. We got some samples to India. Very exciting product. I think very premium, and we are just trying to see how quickly can we get this to India, because still some nuances are left, because it's not an easy category to get into,
yeah.
because it's dominated by some old brands which continue to still charge a premium on a lot of things. But I think, having said that, what we have seen, there's a shift which is happening for consumers. Consumers are willing to try out new brands if there is a great value proposition which is available. And so I think this is still work in progress for us. But I think if I have to answer that question, yes, that is one of the segments which we are looking at and probably evaluating, doing our testings internally to see how quickly can we bring it to India. And if everything goes right, probably this year you will see a laptop also coming from
So you
us.
definitely have some big plans for 2021. And I must say, we are already at the end of July. So it's not even like the second half now. It's only 5 months left. And
Yeah,
within that much, you're
yeah.
planning to do so much. So apart from that, what are the plans for the Indian market? What should we expect from Infinix? I mean, I know you have already told me a lot, but फिर भी इसके अलावा after sales service को लेके या in general.
I think one more category which is still not discussed is TWS or Snorker, which we had launched as
Yeah,
our audio brand. I think that's something which we have launched last year. We got a very decent response and a lot of feedback as well. I think we have been actually working on it for some time now, back on the drawing table. Yeah, how do you really get good stuff for the consumer? So we are also looking at launching or probably bringing some new exciting products on Snorker, TWS as well. So I think that is also another thing which probably you may see from us in this year. So that's probably adding on to another category. Apart from that, I think the exciting part is, I think after sales service and other things, these are the things which we have been continuously working on, and I see we have been really not have any such challenges. The reach has been phenomenal. We are really present in close to 700 towns right now. So I think overall coverage, and we keep expanding basis the kind of consumers or demographic which where we reach, we are able to expand our service as well. So I think those parts are that is a continuous process, and I think
yeah,
that's one of the key things which any consumer brand will do and probably focuses on, because without service you really are nothing.
yeah. And so
And
just
on
to,
top of it,
yeah, yeah, please.
probably one of the few brands which actually puts an embedded service app in each of the mobile phones which are sold, so that it's a consumer convenience which we talk about. So consumer first all the time.
And sir, just to conclude, I also want to know your thoughts about how has life changed as a smartphone brand over the last 14, 15 months during this pandemic? Because there have been too many fluctuations. There has been a time when the demand went down, and then we saw when things started open up, then the demand went up again. And before you could realize, we another had a sort of dip. So how difficult has it been to manage business in these times?
See, Manas, I think business has to go on, and I think challenges will keep coming. So I think the challenges has been more to do with supply chain than anything else. Yes, consumer sentiments have been hurt. There have been challenges on those parts. We never expected the second wave the way it came and hit us.
Yeah,
But I think the problem is, or probably something which is from a business point, it is still a positive for us. Without smartphone, I mean, it has become a necessity right now. It is not that it is something people buy for the for vanity's sake or other things. But it's a basic necessity right now.
Yeah.
So I think that's the and with the people working from home, kids schooling from home, the demand has actually gone much more than what we thought of.
Yeah.
Because I think that's how the whole demand came back, and we were really caught on a wrong foot because supply was not in accordance with the demand. And so I think supply chain is typically a challenge which we see right now. Otherwise, and that's coming globally in all the news which we see,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
chipset issues, which is actually hitting the global supply chain for all the tech companies. So I think apart from that, I see this is something which will continue. People will keep looking at smartphones as a necessity rather than as something which they really want to
So,
indulge
so
in.
should we expect this the effect of this global supply chain reflect on the smartphone prices as well? Because you have told me that it won't be able to you won't be able to maintain that price for TV, but and we have seen other
So I think
smartphone brands. Yeah.
it's everywhere. I think if you're tracking the smartphone industry, you are
Yeah.
seeing there's a price moving up.
Yeah.
There are two parts to it. Supply chain is one, dollar movement is second.
Yeah.
So both the things are moving upwards right now. So yes, it puts a lot of pressure on the cost. So yes, these things will be a challenging for us
And a lot of
till the
brands have
time.
actually increased the price as well. So I mean, I think it's going to be there for a while. That threat is not going to leave us
Yeah. So
anytime.
till the time the whole global supply chain stabilizes, I think there's something which will keep seeing ups and downs, which will keep happening on this.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time and all the best for your plans. I mean, these massive plans because you're planning almost a new product in almost every category and multiple products in every category. So I hope that you have a very good second half of 2021. And thank you so much for your time. You were so kind.
Thank you, Manas. But before I go, let me say the first smartphone which we're launching is probably next week. So the Smart 5A comes out, which is the first phone from Infinix with exclusive Geo offer, wherein a customer can get a cashback up to 550 rupees. So I think exciting times on that front as well. I really look forward to catching up with you again sooner than later.
Sure, definitely. I'm looking at an eventful second half for you anyway. So all the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Manas. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, sir.